Hey guys, it's Mike, another Raid Shadow Legends free-to-play video. We are on to day, I don't even know. I've been gone the whole weekend. I've been playing the whole time, but I wasn't able to record any videos. Let's take a look. Alice Chase, we are on 15. We've completed day 15. So we have had quite a few upgrades to the account since the last time we were in. Pretty excited about it. I did have to do some summons while I was away, just because I couldn't wait, and then also they had the 2x event running over the weekend, so all the ancient shards I pulled over the weekend, I wanted to try to go for this 2x event. So we'll talk about some of the pulls. I did pull one sacred shard for clearing 3 stars in hard mode, and I got myself none other than this guy, which was obviously a disappointment. But you might notice we have a Husk on the account now. We also just pulled a Farrakhan the Fat. We got the Fat Man on the account now. And then we did get a Talia. We did get our login Jizzo. I pulled a Drake, the Fakomorph right here. So that's kind of useless. I'm trying to think if there's anything else that was good on the account. The Fat Man is pretty much what I'm most excited about. We did get our Alice up to 6-star 60. We also got Sabbatha, Kale, or Kale already was, Apothecary, and War Maiden all to 5 stars. And so they're working on their 5-star 50. I think Kale will be my next 6-star character. And then I'm going to start working through the challenges where I need to upgrade a Magic, a Force, a Spirit, and a Void champion to 6 stars. So for the time being, who I have on the account, I think that's going to be Kale, Sabbatha, Farrakhan, and probably Husk. But hopefully I get a different Force character that I'm more excited about upgrading than Husk. So if we jump out here into the challenges, you can see we're kind of moving through on the champion base. That's where I'm hung up. And then once I'm done, I've completed part 5 of 5. And I get the legendary tome there. On the artifacts here, we're going through. I have some work to do there to get this void shard. And then we have one more group. Dungeons, I'm on group 5 of 5, clearing everything on stage 13 basically, so kind of working through some of those. And then arena, we're starting to get through. Awesome, starting to get through into gold and moving up in that space. We did get our arena team all dialed in with the speed and everything we needed to get stuff done, so we refreshed this list. In gold, I'm not really able to compete with anybody in this space, so I'm really looking for those freebies that come in, such as this one right here. My team can outperform my power ranking just because it's built correctly with my power up front, and then you can see how this team operates. So initially we're going to get Apothecary closing everybody's turn meter up and speeding them up. Then we have War Maiden step in. Oh, we don't get to see any of it. War Maiden steps in, puts her defense down, and then you go Kale big AoE into Alice's big AoE. And it'll do some damage. It gets through quite a few people that probably I shouldn't. The only thing is if they do go first and have a speed aura, that can be pretty challenging for my team. Let's see if there's somebody in here that's kind of closer. I'm not seeing one that I could probably beat. Maybe we'll give this one a shot just to see how it goes. But we can actually see the team in action. But you can see this team outranks me by a lot as far as team power. But as long as I'm first, we should be able to at least have a fighting chance. Their resistance a lot higher than mine. Okay, we got their Aethel down. Is this Skeletor? I saw He-Man was in the game. I didn't realize they brought in Skeletor. I'll have to check and see if She-Ra's in the game, and that's kind of funny actually. So we're holding our own. We might be able to get through these folks here. I probably could have had a better chance not going on auto, but I have a tough time talking and hitting buttons at the same time, so auto tends to work out a little better for me. But Alice has been an amazing asset to the team. She is a great champion to start the account with for a couple reasons. Her AoE ability actually kind of resets itself with cooldowns when she kills somebody. So going through the waves, it seems to only reset one time, so it won't reset twice in a row where she just AoEs all 3 waves, but she'll AoE the first 2, and then she'll bring in her other damage for the 3rd, and she actually goes through and farms a lot faster than I remember Kale going. So I'm glad I took her to 6-star first. It allowed me to farm a lot of food pretty quickly actually. I just was needing energy. This is painfully slow, but I think we are going to get it. So you can see having a team that's built correctly can really outperform in a lot of ways. So we'll bring you back in at the end here. We finally got her down, or I hope we're going to get her down here. We're getting pretty close. There we go. So we were able to beat a team that was significantly more power than had more power than us, almost 3 times as powerful. So that's pretty good. So outfitting your team correctly can make all the difference in the world. Here's another one that's kind of close, but there's 3 or all 4 of those are 6-star 60s. So that's probably going to be a little more than we can handle right now. If we jump out into campaign, we see we got the 252 stars on normal. We got the 252 stars on hard, getting us that sacred shard, which got us a beautiful Grim skin, which will be in the vault. Probably should just be food, to be honest with you, but I have him. I'm a collector. We also got through brutal. My 2 champions that I did to go through all of this were Apothecary and Alice, and they did everything for me. Apothecary kept Alice moving up and moving fast and keeping everybody topped off with health. Did a great job, so can't really complain there. But we can watch this battle. I think typically right around 20 to 30 seconds, depending on the RNG a little bit. This one's going to be a little slower because War Maiden's actually going first, because this is one of my champions, but I'm trying to get her to level 50. So that's going to slow the run down. But you see Alice took out AoE damage, took everybody out. Here she did everybody except for Kymar. He gets dropped, and now she's going to come in with her secondary ability after War Maiden. And she usually takes out 2, and then she's got to clean up the other 2. So it's usually right around a 25 to 30 second run. By going that route, which I remember when I first started my main account, I was doing all my farming with Alhain and then Miscreated Monster, and I want to say I was 40 plus seconds. So just having that kind of cleaner run, you see here my best time's actually 13. I actually probably had all of my champions on that team when I did that. So I just did AoE damage across the board on all 3 levels. But that is a lot of progress to be made in a pretty short amount of time. I was farming food pretty quickly. So over the weekend, I did get into a lot of the tournaments and events going on, just trying to get extra resources. Did pretty well. The arena event, I actually finished first, so I got some gear and some relic crafting material. So we'll see if that does anything for me. But yeah, so we're plugging away. At this point, I'm kind of at a weird spot where I'm have people I need to work on. I have food I need to develop, so I'm not really in a place where I need to pull shards. And I know a fusion is coming up, and I want to be in a position to hopefully take advantage of that. So I'm going to start actually holding on to my shards and pulling them in more strategic times, because I do have people to work on right now. If I get to a point where I don't have anybody else to work on, I might pull these out of order, but it's really rough pulling a sacred shard not on a 2 times event, because the drop rates are already pretty bad, and getting a legendary on account could make all the difference in progress. If we get out over here to Clan Boss, we can see some progress I made in Clan Boss. I am able to 1 key easy, get the warrior chest. I think I'm doing 6.5 million damage on easy. On normal mode, I can 1 key normal. I need to get over 3.64 million. I did 4.6, I had an extra million. And then on hard, I haven't run it yet, but I think I do right around 4 million on hard. It's like 3.9, something like that. So hopefully I can get into this night chest with 2 keys in hard mode, get me right in here, and then keep working on damage and try to get up over the guardian chest and press on. This is probably the best place to really build a team at this stage of the game, because the faster you can get up into brutal, nightmare, and ultra nightmare, this is where you're going to get a majority of your shards, a majority of books. Like, this is just an awesome place for resources coming up in the game. And if you get in a clan where you're killing the clan boss, you can end up getting, 2 times those rewards every day, which add up really quick. And you get rubies in there, you get potions in there, a lot of helpful stuff coming out of clan boss. If you're looking for help building a clan boss team, you check out Deadwood Jedi. He's got a website up. It has a lot of different teams you can build on there. I know there's some teams with Farrak and the Fat, with the ally assist aspect of his kit, and he has some other benefits as well. I'm trying to remember what they were as far as his kit goes. The decreased defense is going to be big, HP burn is going to be big, and then the ally attack, where he gets people to join him. So that's going to be a pretty big win, getting him onto the clan boss team as well. He might actually take the place of Venomage, just because Venomage overlaps a little bit with Kale. Although I don't think I have an attack down if I were to get rid of Venomage, because I think he runs his defense and attack down, so I'd have to figure that out. Getting attack down will just get you a few extra turns with the clan boss, and those extra turns turn into poison clicks, and it's just going to get you extra damage. So, but both those champions are worth building, and you'll find places in Doom Tower and other places to use them, so they're definitely on my radar as far as people to build. I also want to make a mention on the Fateless podcast, episode 50. Ragewood came on there, asked some great questions, and kind of gave a great state of the state of where GodForge is in its development. A lot of cool dialogue there. I did a reactionary video last week. I think it had some pretty cool points in it. If you haven't seen it, I'd highly recommend checking it out. Very excited for GodForge to come out. The more I play this game, the more excited I am for GodForge. Not because I'm necessarily not having fun here, but going through this free-to-play has really started to kind of bring back a lot of the emotions of playing Raid and the frustrations that I had as a full-time player. So after the 3 months of this 90-day free-to-play 2025 contest, I think I'll be pretty happy to put this one down and move on to GodForge. But it is kind of getting me back in the swing of things as far as you building your teams and getting excited about players. And the free-to-play account starting fresh is always a cool start, because you get to use characters you never really used before because you had better versions of them by the time they came out. Such as Farrakhan the Fat. I've never actually used him because by the time he came out, I had way better people on my team. So I think he'll be a great addition to the team. So taking a look at the missions, I need one greater potion to finish this up, and then I can kind of move along again, start moving into Dragon, trying to get to the Sacred. Ultimately, I want to get to the Arbiter as soon as possible. I will have to fuse Relic Keeper in that time frame, so I need to start accumulating. There we are. Start accumulating these champions. This is actually my War Maiden, so I don't actually have a fusible version of her, but I did just pick up a Spirit Host, so I need to get an Eris, a Diabolist, and then start farming for these guys to start working towards that Relic Keeper. And then this wouldn't be that bad of an idea either, trying to get these, but these are actual rares you have to pull, so until I have 4 that match, it doesn't really make sense for me to start working on it. There is, however, Lady MikeGoG? I don't know. But you can actually, once you get these epics, you can fuse legendaries out of these epics. Also, you have the opportunity to fuse these epic void and epic magic champions as well. And I do have 2 of those champions already. So those would be kind of some interesting ways that if you happen to get lucky and pull these characters, you might be able to fuse yourself a legendary character pretty early in the game. With the idea of fusions and fragments coming out, a lot of times you can get these guys ready to go, and that way when you have a champion chase event, you can fuse them at that time and get the 250 or 350 points or 500 points for doing that. And same here, I think you only get 50 points for a void rare, but you could get that void rare and then save your 250 here. That being said, I mean, we have 90 days in this challenge, so you know, it might take quite a while to get those things done, but we want to stay in front of them as they happen. Like looking at like the champions here, getting all 4, a Force, a Magic, Spirit, and I think there's a Void in here too. Oh, maybe they don't have a Void. Okay. So getting a Magic, a Spirit, and a Force champion to level 6, that's going to take quite a bit of time. Not as much time as it took me to get my first one to level 6, just because I can farm food significantly faster now, so that is awesome. I'm also plugging away over in Masteries, and I'm working on specific champions that I think will be on my team for a while. So we look at Minotaur here, the team. I can almost do 15. 14 was a little bit sketch though, so I'm waiting to just get a few more power-ups. But these are the 5 people on my team right now that I think will be there for a while. You could probably add Husk, you could probably add Farrakhan the Fat, and Venomage to this list to keep pressing on, but I am trying to farm the best levels of Minotaur that I can to get the best drop rates that I can, because it's important to get the best drop rates you can just because they're such trash. I've actually given a lot of thought to Minotaur and how it functions in the game, and I almost feel like once you max a champion out in campaign mode, it almost feels like instead of getting experience, you start to get scrolls. And then from doing that, because by using that champion, you're technically mastering their abilities, you're mastering their skills, you're understanding how the champion works. and then you start to get these scrolls along the way while you're doing other things. I don't think Minotaur is really a challenging or engaging part of the game. I think it's basically useless. These should all be completely simmable battles, and I think if you're going to leave Minotaur in the game, it should not take energy. You should get a cap of 10 runs per day you can do, and you get to sim them instantaneously and just get the rewards right away. And after you max somebody out, they're maxed out, you can move on to the next one. I think that would be a better use of this boss. I think the other thing you could do, like thinking about GodForge and kind of getting away from this game mode completely, is you could play like a mirror image of the character that you have to play, and maybe there's like a good, better, best, like a hard, nightmare, you know, that kind of like different levels of the character. And once you're able to beat that character on all of the levels, you have to basically beat the same character you have, so you're always up against a comparable person. That is how you get masters, that's how you get your masteries to level your champion out, and that way you're learning how that champion works. It's like when you do masteries, like late game, you build a team of 4 that can do this in 10 seconds, and then you just throw in your 5th champion as a tag along to get the masteries, and all these guys are maxed out, so all of your masteries end up on the one champion. Or you could put in a team where you're actually gaining experience doing it, but to be honest, like the experience you gain is just so little, and it's not worth the extra time that it takes for you to do it. So it just kind of, you know, I guess it depends on what you're trying to do at any given time. Right now, like I'm doing this, I'm only getting experience on War Maiden, which is kind of a loss, and specifically on a free-to-play, this is a really finite resource for me to be blowing on masteries. So it could make more sense for me just save up rubies and buy masteries for the champions I need them on. But the rubies themselves is like, yeah, you could get basically an 11 pack of ancient shards for the same price of masteries. And then, you know, that could be a 10 pull that just changes your account completely. So we did actually upgrade to level 40 and did open up the Doom Tower as well. This is also an excellent place to get additional resources. You can see I'm out of keys here. I did get hung up in a couple spots. I had to come and manual it. I was pretty pleased that I was able to beat the Griffin here. You can get some great materials here for forging gear sets. I don't think on these guys here I'm going to stand a chance. Like even with the rare champions I have, I tried. It was not close. So I think all of them are going to have to be 6-star 60s for me to get through any of those guys. But these little separate rooms are kind of a fun way to get some things. But every time you beat a room, you're getting different resources all along the way. Here's some chickens here, extra energy. And so this is just a great way to get a little bit more on the account and keep moving forward. I did pick up Alice's 2-star soul, but the soul or the altar of souls doesn't open until level 42, so I'm a level and a little bit away from that. So I'm looking forward to doing that as well, just to get a little more damage on my Alice. But I think that's about what I got for you today. We're through day 15 on the free-to-play account, seeing some pretty good progress in the last few days. Had a good time with it over the weekend, just building champions and making my team better and better. But I appreciate you tuning in. If you haven't liked and subscribed, please do so. It means the world to me, and I look forward to seeing you next time.